Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and today I'm doing my disappointing books of 2015. I'm going to do some books that I read and finished and tell you why I didn't like them. And I am going to tell you some books that I DNF'd during 2015. So I'm going to use my trusty journal. This is this thing. And I'm going to share with you some of the books that disappointed me. The first book is a very popular book. It's by Marissa Meyer, and it is Cinder, and it looks like this. And I listened to this on audio. I have the physical book, and I listened to it on audio and read it at the same time. I gave it 2.5 stars. I did not really like it. I listened to it on audio, so as I said, the voice of Cinder was very annoying. It was like squeaky, and I just couldn't get through it. And lots of technical words. I did enjoy how Cinder became a robot. That part I enjoyed, but otherwise, other than that, it was losing me throughout. I did continue the series because they said it did get better, and I did like the next one, and that was Scarlet. Scarlet was my favorite, and then Crest again went back downhill. So I have not read Winter yet, and I haven't read Ferris yet. So, but Cinder was a disappointment for me. The next one is also an audiobook that I listened to. It's called The Queen by Kiera Cass. It's this part of the selection series. It looks like this, the reason I did not like this book, I gave it a 2-star, is because I listened to her on audio, and the voicing, the person who narrated it was very annoying to me. Her accent was hard to understand. I didn't really learn anything in this book, and luckily it was short, and I didn't think that the Queen should have been even written, so I don't think it added anything to the story. So that was the next one. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Reality Boy by A.S. King. I took this again, I listened to this on audio, and that is this one, and I gave this one 2 stars. The reason why I dropped it so low is because he used the F word throughout the entire book, and it was so annoying. The story itself was okay, but with all the cursing and profanity, I dropped it down to 2 stars. The next book is also a very popular one. It is also a movie. I gave this one 2 stars. It's called If I Stay by Gail Foreman, and it looks like this one. And in my notes it says, it took me a very long time to read this book. It was good in the beginning, but after that it went very downhill for me. It was very boring. The book, I did put the book down and DNF'd it for a little bit, and then I did pick it up again, and I finally finished it. It did leave on a cliffhanger. I need to pick up the second book, but I didn't really like the book that much. I did watch the movie afterwards, and the movie I gave 4 stars to. The book I gave 2 stars to, and the movie did make me cry. The next book is also a popular one that I did not like at all. This is the second time I read this author's book, and I don't think I will be picking up any more. I gave this one 2 stars. It says, the book's title is What I Thought Was True by Huntley Fitzpatrick. It looks like this. I gave it 2 stars. This one I forced myself to read. I read this with Goodreads, read with friends, and I couldn't connect with any of the characters except for the old lady, and she was only in there for a slight second, and it wasn't funny. It wasn't funny at all to me, and it was very slow. So yeah, I didn't like that one at all. I gave it 2 stars. I did finish it, but it was very, very slow for me. Another book that I read and finished is Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl. And if you've been watching my channel, this is a funny book. because I searched and searched and searched because I wanted the beautiful cover. And when I went to go find it, it was the yellow book cover. And we have a little video on our channel about my kids saying, "Oh, look at this book," you know, that type of thing. So I'll show you what the beautiful cover looks like. So this one is what it looks like, the beautiful cover. This is the one I searched for, and I found it on Book Depository. Yes. And this is what we saw in Barnes & Noble when we went to go actually purchase the book. So I gave this book 2 stars. I read this read with friends. I wanted to like it. The only thing I liked about it was the cover. I thought it was beautiful. I liked the first, you know, this beautiful cover. That's the only thing I really liked about it. The characters annoyed me. The cursing annoyed me. I disliked all the characters. The main character was self-centered. Not sure if I will see the movie, and I may rent the DVD, but I don't think I'm going to pay for the movie. The next book is called Red Rising by Pierce Brown, and it looks like this one. This one I gave 1 star to. I attempted to read this a while back and got stuck, and I put the book down. It was very slow for me. Then I attempted to read it again Read with Friends because they were reading it. And I said, okay, let me try to read it again. So I started from the beginning again. And I enjoyed the first part, the part that I read originally. But it was downhill for the rest of the whole book. I just did not like it after the beginning of the book, which was the best part of the book. The rest of the book didn't keep my attention. I wound up going to audio, just trying to get through the book and to finish it. I did finish it, and I wound up fast-forwarding some of it. It was like, it was horrible. It was like reading, like taking your teeth out. I just couldn't. I did not like this book at all. I should have DNF'd it way back when I got to the 100 pages, and I didn't like it. So, yeah. So that was that one. The last book that I finished, and I did not DNF this. The last one, I read this one. I finished it to the end. I wound up going onto audio because the writing style was very dense. It's called In the Woods by Tana French. So this one I gave 2.5 stars to. It kept on, while I was listening to it, it would grab my attention, and then I would get lost. And then it would grab my attention, and then I would get lost. I should have DNF'd this one. I wanted to know what happened. It's about a child abuse, a rape, a murder of 12-year-olds. Very graphic in detail. She repeats over and over again what happened to the children, and it's not very faint at heart. You can't, if you have a sick stomach or whatever, I wouldn't suggest reading this one. Yeah, I gave it 2.5 stars. Okay, on to the books that I DNF'd and didn't finish. So, yeah, I have quite a few. So, the first book, I started on audio, and I listened to maybe the first chapter or so. And the book is very popular. Everybody likes this one. It's called The Luckiest Girl Alive by Jessica Knoll. And the reason I DNF'd this one is all the cursing. I do not like cursing. I can't. When you're listening to an audiobook and someone's cursing at you over and over again, I just can't deal with it, and it aggravates me. So, yes, I DNF'd this one. So that's that one. Okay, the next book that I DNF'd is a graphic novel. I read all the way up to book 4. So, I got up to book 4, and I was like, why the hell am I reading this anymore? So, yeah. The graphic novel I'm talking about is Saga. So, yeah, the first novel is very shocking. It has a lot of sexual content into it. It is sci-fi. I did read it. I don't know if I gave it 3, maybe 4 stars. But after that, it got downhill. It didn't keep my attention. It would jump around from scene to scene. I would be very confused, and the sexual images weren't necessary. I think it's there for shock value. I don't think it's very enjoyable, and I DNF'd this one. Okay, the next one is a graphic novel that's very popular. All the girls are reading this one as well. And I couldn't find a nice picture of it, but it's Rat Queens graphic novel, and this is the one I got from Goodreads, the picture of it. I don't have the book. I took it out from the library. I read the first chapter, and I was like, why are they reading this? It's totally... there's so much profanity in it that I just could not get through it, and I was like, I can't read this one. So I put it down. Yeah, I don't like cursing. So I don't use cursing in my daily life, and I don't like to read about it. So yeah, so that was another one. So the next book that I picked up, and I tried to read this week, read with friends, it is Finnegan of the Rock by Melina Marchetta, and it looks like this one. And now I want to get from my notes. I had some notes written down of why I didn't like this one. So let me see what I wrote in my book here. I just found the... I just found it. Where is it now? Okay, hold on. Okay, it had too many names and descriptions, which did not keep my interest. I couldn't read one... I couldn't read one day. It took me 2 minutes to read a page. I had the whole series, and I got fed up, and I couldn't relate to any of the characters, and I just donated it and gave all 3 books to the used bookstore and picked out something that I could read. So that was that one. The next one is, I listened to this one on audio. I read 7 parts of the 10. So I did get pretty far in this book. But after when I got to the 7th part, I couldn't take it anymore. It's Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. It looks like this one. I was listening to this on audio. I really enjoyed the beginning of the book about the babies. There was babies that were switched or jumped around or whatever. And then after a while, it just jumped around. I couldn't focus. I didn't enjoy this one at all, so I DNF'd it at 7 parts of 10. So I got pretty far, and I'm not going to continue it. I wanted to like it because I do like Neil Gaiman, but I just did not like this one. Maybe it would be better if I read it, but I listened to this on audio, and it didn't do anything for me. So yeah, I DNF'd that one. The last book that I DNF'd in 2015 was Dissent by Tim Johnson. It looks like this one. And the reason I DNF'd this one because it jumps around too much. It goes from past, present, and future without any warning. I couldn't relate to any of the characters, and it refers to boy and girl instead of a character. And I just did not enjoy it, and luckily I DNF'd it right before all the drama happened. Somehow they're on on a camping trip or something, and they get or a hiking trip. I don't remember really that much about it, but I think they're on a hiking trip and they get captured, and my friend who was reading it with me, she said, I'm glad you stopped reading it because the girls were, or the children were getting tortured. So yeah, so luckily I stopped reading that one. So that was the last one. So anyway, oh, there's one more book. This one, I don't know what to do about this book. Everybody loves this book, and I've talked about this before, and I have no idea what to do because I'm just fed up. I think I'm just going to give it away. It's going to be in my unhaul, I think. What I'm talking about is Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson. I've tried to read this twice this year in 2015. I read it in January, and I got to page 70, and I put the book down. I again attempted from the beginning with Read with Friends, and I read up to, I have a bookmark in there, I read up to 136. The second time I read it, I was keeping notes. I couldn't keep track of all the characters. I was keeping track of who was what. It was more like I was like going to school, and I had to write everything down. I couldn't keep track of everybody. It was like really pulling teeth. And when I read, I want to read something that's going to take me out of my out of my very busy life. I want to just sit there and go into another and read and enjoy something. This was not enjoyable. I had to sit with a notebook and write everything down. I just couldn't get it. There was like words that I had to look up, words that weren't in the dictionary. I can't get through it. I don't know. And I have the whole series, and everybody loves it. I don't understand why. I don't know. I still have the 136 pages. Ask me what was the 136 pages. I have no idea. It's something about minerals. I don't know. So yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, but I just can't read his books. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and like, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.